I think we got ourselves a new author here. Actually, not really, not fully, because we have read 629 of theirs, but that was like way back. And that looks like, no, here we go, 1549. That's the last one we read from an author called Dog Stuff. So we have read that stuff, but not many, only 2 out of a couple that they have. They actually have quite a lot. 1549. 1549. Oh yeah, it was like that website. Like it's an SCP where like you visit a website, but you don't explore the website by click and drag with the mouse. You actually physically go into the website and then you explore that way. That one has 81 views on my channel, and downvote and upvote it's like 50-50 right now. I still, I mean, I understand at the end maybe like the way I read SCPs is not everybody's cup of tea, and maybe sometimes like I expect something different, but I still always think it's a little bit odd why I get downvotes on SCP stuff. Sometimes I just think it's a little bit weird, but yeah, that's Dog Stuff. That's an SCP of Dog Stuff that we read before. Hold on, I'm gonna check something real quick. Okay, and now we are gonna read called On the Barcelona Skyline. What a name! What a name! Okay, here we go. Object Class Euclid, Special Containment Procedures. The section of land from which SCP-2728 can be viewed is to be cordoned off, marked as private property, and designated Research Area 2728. Roughly 5 square kilometers is an ovoid shape. These can be found on a map of Research Area 2728. Research Area 2728 must be disguised as civilian-owned land. All security cameras should be hidden, and subject who cross into Research Area 2728 must be detained. Detained subject should be interrogated and given Class C amnestics before being released. Description: SCP-2728 consists of a small area containing an office building in Barcelona, Spain. It can only be viewed from a specific viewpoint 25 kilometers outside of city limits, now designated Research Area 2728. Any and all attempts to reach the office building have failed, with subject instructed to the point of SCP-2728's existence, instead viewing a street corner in the pedestrian neighborhood. While SCP-2728 is visible, the area around it also appears slightly modified to accommodate for its existence. For example, the building around it appears smaller and spaced in such a way to allow the office building position. SCP-2728 appears to be inhabited with close viewing showing business hours between 8 to 16. So 8 to 18. That's 10 hours. Damn, okay. SCP-2728 is inactive on Sundays, only occasionally being visited by a subject assumed to be the custodian. Extensive observation of SCP-2728 since 19 has recorded over 14,000 individuals who appear to have interacted with SCP-2728. Where these subjects go when they are not within SCP-2728 is unknown. Gotcha. Most subjects within SCP-2728, hereby designated -A, appear to have real-world counterparts. The -A subject looks exactly like the real-world subject and shares the same name. Names gathered from observation of name tags and desk plaques, among other things. All objects have been viewed via high-definition cameras, binoculars, and similar equipment. Similarity of personalities and other factors is hard to determine. Due to the nature of SCP-2728, most counterparts of -A live inside Barcelona or nearby, but some live as far away as South Africa. Addendum 1. On September 2000, a test was conducted involving Agent La Ferrière. There's also a reason about dark stuff. So unsure if I should read this or not. I think Howard told me I don't need to read this, but it is mentioning them, so I will probably read it. I will read it. A research team. I'm going to finish reading this first though, and then we read the tale. A research team stationed at the SCP-2728 viewpoint instructed Agent LaFerrier through a cell phone. LaFerrier was given direction to SCP-2728 and informed it of its anomalous properties. The goal of the test was to confirm no changes in the behavior of SCP-2728. These regular tests are performed every 4 months. Agent LaFerrier reported no change in the behavior of SCP-2728, saying that he was still looking at the street corner. However, the research team observed an identical copy of Agent LaFerrier appearing awestruck, looking up at SCP-2728. Further observations showed the copy attempting to talk into a white cell phone, identical to the one given to Agent LaFerrier, appearing confused and frustrated. Agent LaFerrier was instructed to return and was subsequently detained. No other tests to date have yielded similar results. The following is an interview with Agent LaFerrier upon his return to the research team. The following interview was conducted by Dr. Hillenburg following detainment. Agent LaFerrier was designated -1 following the incident. Date 9th. Interviewer Dr. Hillenburg. Interviewee -1. Begin log. How are we doing today, LaFerrier? Okay, I guess. I still don't know what's going on, but I'm in for the ride. Please recall your experience while being directed to SCP-2728. Well, I followed the directions. I don't know what else you want me to say. I took a left here, a right here, all by foot. Lying on the side of SCP-2728, saw the street corner like usual, and was told to come back. Please elaborate on exactly what happened once you reached the side of SCP-2728. Well, after I saw the street corner and reported I saw the street corner, there was a long pause from the research team's end. They didn't say anything for a while, but then they did, and I came back. What else do you want me to say? Absolutely anything you can say about the incident. What incident? I was not informed. Please remain calm. We don't do anything without reasons. Fine, it's fine. Okay, there's one other thing. When I saw the street corner, I got a head rush, you know? Vision goes fuzzy, hearing is muffled. You get them all the time when you stand up too fast or something. Is that what you want me to hear? Is that what you want to hear? That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you for your cooperation. Yeah, you got it. Thanks for telling me exactly the information I needed. As a log, Agent LaFerrier was informed of the incident and placed in a normal human containment cell. Agent LaFerrier resisted but ultimately allowed himself to be contained. I'm getting tired. Oh god. I can feel it. Edit. After a week, Agent LaFerrier has been left out of containment and has taken back to his previous position. It is still largely unknown if Agent LaFerrier is anomalous. Agent LaFerrier continues to be heavily monitored. Addendum 2. On April 2000, a bright flashing light shone through the window of SCP-2728 at 21 o'clock after initial observation. After initial observation, it was shortly discovered to be Morse code. The following is a transcription of the Morse code, beginning shortly after the light started flashing. Begin log. The sleepy Fluff. Yeah, I mean, crazy. We already talked about this, but like sleeping when it's like so warm, it's just, I just get less hours, and so I end up like more tired during the night. Begin log. I don't know if you are there. Pause. I checked the hill and there was no fence and no research team. I'm beginning to think you have left me. Pause. Or that I have entered another place. Point is, I have no idea what's going on and you need to get me out of here. I don't get it. Everything here is normal. I can't find any anomalies or foundation. It's like you don't exist. You didn't tell me this could happen, you fox. I now have a fucking office job in this stupid building because of you. And yelling at people, not AI people, and yelling at people in Morse code is not as cathartic as you expect. It's like there's nothing here. It's too normal. I'm scared. You didn't tell me. Fuck off, landlord. Reminds me of the SCP that was about well, our world, our Earth without SCPs is also one, and people just come to visit us and decide to stay with us because like, hey, there's no anomalies here, we don't have to worry about all that shit. I'm staying here. I'm staying here. I'm just gonna start a new life. And Dash A individual identical to Agent Lafayette, he has been seen working in SCP-2728. SCP-2728 since the incident. It is assumed this Dash A individual is the same seen during the Lafayette test and the one that sent Morse code. Addendum 3. On May 2000, a bright flashing light shone through the window of SCP-2728 at 21 o'clock, similar to the previous events. Staff already at the viewpoint were able to catch the message in its entirety. The following is a transcription. Nobody here. They all work and do nothing. I feel this isn't even Barcelona. Not even a copy. No one here knows. It's like the insects. The sky's never blue. Never black. There's nothing outside the city limits. Okay. If I'm gonna read the consequences of the deep dark disassociation. The answer yeah. Because it's that's Asian Lafayette. That's the guy. A short skinny man sat on the opposite end of the one-way glass. A voice would come through the speakers and ask him a question, and he responded with unmatched conviction and vigor. He seemed to enjoy it. Most would answer in a slow, sluggish drawl. He was a drawl. It was rare to find someone in this field that loved their job so much. Very, very rare. Yet somehow, more striking that his features were in direct contrast to his actions. His skull shows more than his face, and his eyes never looked like they were quite looking at anything. If you were to hold a conversation with him, his voice would tell you that he was deeply invested, but his eyes would only look in the direction of you. Being only 32 and showing so with his energy, he held himself like an old, seasoned veteran. How they're doing? He's on track for a clean score of 70, like always. Like always indeed. Dr. Hindenburg kept close watch on Lafayette, the bug in the system that they were always getting off from their loyalty test with a score of 70. Most field agents held 30 and was perfectly acceptable. The 05 were required to hold 80 or above, and they were considered the most convinced of the Foundation cause. Agents were usually there because of healthcare benefits, and often because the secrecy of the Foundation kept them in comfort. Among agents, there were so many lives that they would rather forget in favor of being under the watchful eye of the multinational covert organization. Lafayette didn't seem to be one of them. And somehow, although this should have been in every way a good thing, it was deeply concerned to the higher-ups. Some would say they were very much looking at a gift horse in the mouth. But there's another old war story. But there's another old war story adage about horses and gifts that nobody much cared to get rid of. When they're done, don't bring them out. I'm going to have to talk to them. As discussed, of course. Hillenburg did not look up to see the assistant exit the room. His eyes were fixed on Lafayette, almost in an attempt to scan them like the other equipment was, hoping to find what made them tick. Hoping to find a crack in their conviction. They, of course, didn't get 80. But it would have been insane to think that they would. It takes knowing the answer to questions before they are asked to get something so high on the loyalty test, and Lafayette was only human. Supposedly, the test was 5 minutes from being over, and Hillenburg began to sweat. There was an inhuman look about Lafayette, some odd combination of the sunken eyes and crooked nose and lazy gait. The way they looked at you without looking at you, with the effects, Hillenburg caught himself wondering if Lafayette was staring at him at a couple different points. Reason told him that their eyes must yet just be darting around the room, and who wouldn't wonder who was watching them from behind from a one-way mirror, sorry. Come on. Still, the feeling was unable to be shook. Very soon the questions stopped coming to the speaker and Lafayette stood up, awaiting someone to escort them. Unfortunately, that's not what they got. Hillenburg took one long, deep breath and opened the door to the room. Lafayette watched him wordlessly as Hillenburg took a seat opposite them. Hillenburg supposed that Lafayette thought this would be another part of the test. The test instructed one not to speak until prompted, thus Hillenburg did. Hello, Agent Lafayette, Hillenburg spoke as he lent out a hand. Wait, so let me give him, hello, Agent Lafayette. That's Hillenburg, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give Hillenburg more of that voice. Hello, Agent Lafayette, Hillenburg spoke as he lent out a hand. Hello, Dr. Hillenburg. Nice to see you again. Lafayette did the same and they shook on it, returning back into a comfortable position to the chair. Hillenburg began. You have continuously gotten exceptionally high scores in the loyalty test. Enough to bring attention to yourself, and you should be glad to have it. Though the test scores are not taken lightly, don't I know it? Hillenburg chuckled. Lafayette followed suit. It was uncomfortably real. Lafayette had a sturdy smile across the face and pressed against her teeth. They must have expected some sort of promotion. So I have come in here to ask you a few questions about yourself. Consider it a profile that you will be given around to interest officials, but of course, don't lie. Oh wait, oh he's saying that. Ah fuck. I would never. And Hillenburg knew it. Oh wait, no, that's Lafayette. I would never. And Hillenburg knew it. Firstly, I would like you to describe how you got here, your life story, but particularly what led you to work on the foundation. Of course, I was born in Paris, France, to parents that apparently never wanted me. I was brought to the orphanage and soon picked up by a lovely couple. They were old and never had the opportunity to have children. The names were Ebba and Arthur Carlson. They were very sweet and raised me right, and they taught me all the conviction I now have. Arthur particularly was a very hard worker and had long hours at construction sites. He always came home in a terrible pain, but he never complained about it. The only way I knew were his terrible moans as he went to crawl into bed. The work ethic of that man never left me. He will always be my inspiration. His name shall be put on my tombstone if I have any say in it. Ebba was sweet and caring, but altogether left no impression on my young self. After a school in which I always maintained a perfect grades, I focused all my attention on getting enough money to go to America. It was not that I felt the need to leave France per se, but I wanted to be part of something big, and America is as big as you can be. It can only be a government job in America for me. I always had a fantasy of the FBI or the CIA. I took up police school, excelled in every way, and made it into government work, where I was quite happy for a very long time. That's when you came to me and offered me a job, something even bigger. The salary was exorbitant and honoring, but it didn't matter to me if you paid me in dimes. I could not refuse your offer, and here I am. Good. Have you ever traced your birth parents? No, I felt it wouldn't do me any good to find people who didn't want me. Alright. Hillenburg wrote on his clipboard, paraphrasing Lafaye's answer. The transcript of this conversation would be available on a later date, so it was an empty task, but Hillenburg wanted time between his questions. Tell me about your time working with SCP-2728. SCP-2728? Yes, tell me about your time on that assignment. As far as I could tell, there was a manual task given to me while they figured out where I could truly go to work. One of my first assignments, very simple. All I had to do was to walk to a building that didn't exist. Got very confusing, and well, you know how it goes. You interviewed me, spotted my double at the building, and thought I might be an anomaly. Yes, I was there. Tell me about your time working with SCP-2729, which we were going to read right afterwards. That was after a couple of interim assignments. I worked with SCP-2729 when it was found out I was affected by it. It's not every day that you get a perfectly sane man claiming to see invisible soldiers. I rather enjoyed that assignment. I still get called in periodically. It lets me travel very far and wide around the Pacific, surveying a quite harmless and very interesting anomaly. The research team was swell as well. Always very encouraging and humorous without being distracting. Very good. Now I'd like you to tell me, what is your first name? My first name. Agent Lafayette paused, suddenly very confused, but as always there were also very compliant. It was only about 3 seconds before they answered. Victor, but everybody calls me Vic. What did the research team working with you on SCP-2728 call you by? La Ferrier, I should have clarified. All my friends call me by Vic. With all of you, you lose last names. Yes, but I'm certain the research team called you by your full name at least once. What did they call you? La Ferrier sat, truly looking off slightly past Lindbergh's left ear. They suddenly said very stiff. They called me Victor. Good. What is your middle name? My middle name is Adams. What did the research team on SCP-2728 say my middle name was? They... Very, very stiff. They called me Alphonse. Is your middle name Alphonse? They swapped. The real, La Ferrier is, in the alternate reality Barcelona. No. Good. Moving on. Unless it's supposed to say the research team was the one who's wrong. But let's keep reading. Hindenburg glanced over La Ferrier, trying to check for any hint of lying. If they were being deceitful, they were extraordinarily good at it. The only expression on La Ferrier's face was that of a mind gone blank. Blank where it wasn't blank before. Blank, but only now discovering the white enveloping blankness. Describe to me how SCP-2729 has affected you. SCP-2729 has rarely affected me, but every once in a while I will get a terrible migraine and pass out as SCP-2729 resets. Sometimes I only get slight headaches while it flickers. Good. Do you remember being part of MTF Pi 1 City Slickers? I'm an agent of theirs currently. Good. And how many missions have you gone on with them? 2 I have. No need. I've been told I don't have the clearance to know one of them. It would be dreadful to forget this conversation. Of course. I would like to ask, however, was your life ever at risk during these missions? Yes. Do you find it peculiar that you will be allowed to go on life-threatening missions while you have the possibility of fainting or becoming incapacitated at any given time? La Ferrier was sweating like they had never sweat before. La Ferrier was an anomaly in the system. They seemed to be always maintain a zen-like calm, except of course that they didn't. Well, that's what it says on all official reports, and that's how everybody remembers it. La Ferrier was certainly beginning to crack. I had not thought of it. Very well. Do you remember the day of May 26, 2014? I do. Would you mind repeating it to me? I was told that my double inside SCP-2728 had sent out another cryptic message. They felt the need to update me on these things. What time in the day was that? What? What time in the day was that? How should I remember? This wasn't a sign of anger. La Ferrier was entirely sincere. Give me your best guess. La Ferrier seemed to ponder this for 30 seconds. I would say that I held the telephone around 2 in the afternoon. Where did you take the phone call? I was in MTF Pi 1 barracks. You weren't. La Ferrier fell silent. You were incapacitated and in the infirmary at Side 31. You could not have taken that phone call. You must have the records somewhere. We have extensive records of all of our anomalies, La Ferrier. We've been especially careful to keep yours. You see, after the SCP-2728 incident, there has always been the wonder of why the anomaly reacted to you the way it did. And after checking the records, we have confirmed. La Ferrier, I have heard that phone call myself, and I can guarantee you that it was your voice on the other line. Agent Omar and Agent Levat also placed you at the scene in MTF 1 barracks, but see, La Ferrier, you couldn't have taken that call because you were in the infirmary at Side 31. Dun dun dun! La Ferrier's expression hasn't changed since it settled on a deep turmoil of thought that it showed with the uncharacteristically intense eyes, flaccid lips, and stiffened back. La Ferrier did not have any response. Hillenburg had struck them speechless. Do you remember being in the infirmary that day, La Ferrier? A full minute. I do. La Ferrier, I would like to describe how junior researcher Talhan was fired while on the job at SCP-2729 with you. A long, terrible pause. Hillenburg and La Ferrier locked eyes for an indeterminate amount of time and could feel the sweat coming off of their brows. Neither seemed to blink. He hit on me? Lafayette. Talahan was a 34-year-old heterosexual cisgender male. Why would he hit on you? I was a woman. For that one moment, I was a woman. Hillenburg was surprised at how fast the answer came to him, but it didn't let it show. Lafayette, what is your first name? Victor? What was your first name? Victoria. What is your middle name? I don't know. Lafayette, do you remember having been a member of MDF Sigma 10 working men? Yes. What did they call you by? Vernon? What's your middle name? I don't know. Lafayette, do you remember incident URA 1902? Let me see what this opens up. Oh, I'm not gonna read this. Although it seems like very familiar. But I'm not gonna read it. Lafayette has finally broke the facade, but only slightly. The eyes dilated and the lips twitched with horror. I do. Agent Victor Adams Lafayette, he stood up. I need you to tell me where you went. What? After incident URA 1902, Lafayette, you were the only corpse that we didn't find of MTF Sigma 10. We had left your Type 4 hazmat suit, and we found your fingertips on a knife with POY 348-17's blood on it. Lafayette, where did you go? I don't know. You do know. Where did you go? Agent Lafayette was red. The eyes darted around the room, the mouth full agape. I don't know. Lafayette, after you cut open Tamara Herring, where did you go? Lafayette slashed and mouthed Tamara and began to hold the head in the hands. I don't know. After you took the fetus out of her abdomen, Lafayette, after you tore her open, where did you go? Lafayette breathed faster than ever before at a pace unable to be maintained. Hillenburg feared that he was running out of time. Hillenburg feared that Lafayette would pass out, but most of all, Hillenburg feared Lafayette. I don't know where I went. Hillenburg's voice boomed. Where did you go? Lafayette screamed. Home! Extend your arm. What? You gotta go. Ah, man. Yeah, that was fair. At least you got this experience 9 out of 10 SCPs. You can always watch the last one tomorrow on the wall. So, I wish you a good night. Extend your arm, Lafayette. They hesitated, tears streaming down them, and then they complied. Lafayette always complied. Lafayette could not comply. Hillenburg pulled back Lafayette's sleeve, forced his weight upon the wrist to hold them there, and stabbed a syringe into the arm. Lafayette screamed in terror but did not fight back, and soon he wouldn't be able to. Lafayette slumped in that chair and fell to the floor. Hillenburg's heart was racing, but he always maintained composure. Hillenburg leaned over Lafayette's body and held his finger to the throat for a pulse. There was none. He was dead. Like Hillenburg towered over what used to be in every way the perfect agent. He breathed heavily. Hillenburg calmly stowed his clipboard and tossed the syringe. He exited the room and requested that someone take out the body. It was time to speak to the higher-ups. God damn. Hillenburg went to the elevator, took it out 3 floors up, and retreated into his office. Sitting down at his desk was immensely calming, and his nerves very soon began to loosen. He looked down at his left arm, pulled up his sleeve, and began to call the number he had written on it. The phone rang 3 times before someone picked it up. Hello? Hello, this is Dr. Hillenburg, clearance code 908A-OP02-RE34-9UIO. Is this side 31? This was met with a long pause as the receptionist plugged his credentials into a computer as usual. After about 2 minutes, she spoke again. Yes, it is. Good. May I speak with Agent Lafayette? It's urgent. Of course. Please hold. And so Hillenburg held, shifting through the transcript of his latest encounter with Lafayette and absently playing with his grey sideburns. He then leaned back in his chair, rolled to the other side of the office, and put on a pot of coffee. Afterwards, he grabbed out a bowl of fruit and pulled out an apple, which he began to chew on. All in all, the whole thing took about 10 minutes. Hello? Hello, Agent Lafayette here. It's Dr. Hillenburg. Ah, of course. Hello, Dr. Hillenburg. How may I help you? Very simple, actually. We had a glitch in our system, and currently everyone else is occupied, so I took it upon myself to call you personally. We don't seem to have your first or middle name anywhere in our online documents, and we need to file your most recent assignments. Mind repeating it for me? Of course. I'm Agent Victor Adams Lafayette. Everybody calls me Vic. Thank you dearly. Have a good day. To you as well. Hindenburg placed the phone down and let out a deep sigh. Of course, it hadn't worked. His home, it must have been in France. He could track airplane tickets, but no, something told Hindenburg that LaFayette wouldn't need a plane to get from here to there. In fact, it could be there already. Well, Hindenburg knew LaFayette was there, just which of them. He needed personnel under his watch immediately. He needed some people in France. Hindenburg booted up his computer and searched for personnel available for reassignment in France. Yes, I thought that would work. Later, he called into the morgue and they reported that nobody of any Agent LaFayette here had ever made it to their services. They did, however, see an assistant come through and seemed very confused, forgetting what they were doing that brought them down all the way. Interesting. Interesting, and basically saying like the real one is gone and whatever this other Barcelona keeps like sending fake ones, or at least the fake one is like re-looping its life. Not its life, like it's basically it's not able to die, but it will forget what it was doing before. I see. I see. Okay, let's get to the last one. I'm tired.